This is SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and tonight the hockey world gets treated to another chapter of one of the greatest individual rivalries in all of sports history. Crosby versus Ovechkin. This marks the 98th head-to-head meeting between the two icons, more than 2 decades after they entered the league together in 2005. And in the 20 years since, they've battled for everything. MVP, scoring titles, Stanley Cups, and the title of the NHL's face of the league. They've clashed in unforgettable playoff battles, delivered some of the most iconic moments of the modern era, and somehow exceeded some of the massive expectations placed on them as teenagers. Think about how wild that is to have the bar set so high for you as a child, and living up to it throughout your adult years. Incredible. And through all of it, the rivalry evolved into mutual respect. Now when it comes to head-to-head numbers, Crosby has the edge in both the regular season and playoffs. But in their most recent postseason showdown in 2018, it was Ovi who came out on top, taking down the Penguins in 6 games en route to his first ever Stanley Cup. And even though they're over 20 years into their careers, they're still making history. Last night, Alex Ovechkin became the first player in NHL history to score 900 career goals.
Lost it there to Ovechkin. Quick relay comes to the point. Chychrun fires. Just missed. Ovechkin turns. He scores! The Great Eight is the one and only at 900.
900. We get to witness history, a rivalry, but also an individual accomplishment that so many people will never see in real time. And he adds that to a resume that already includes 3 Hart trophies, 9 Rocket Richard trophies, and Art Ross, a Conn Smythe, a Stanley Cup, and he's the owner of 14 40-goal seasons. We're witnessing an all-time great and maybe the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. And then there's Crosby, the captain of Team Canada, the definition of a complete player, and a legend in his own right. He's got 3 Stanley Cups, 2 Hart trophies, 2 Art Ross, and you might not look at him as a goal scorer, but he's got 2 Rocket Richards, 2 Conn Smythes, and 2 Olympic gold medals. And at age 37, he's still putting up elite numbers. And if he keeps this up and the Pens keep winning, he might have another Hart trophy this year. And let's not forget, this game matters. Pittsburgh is pushing in the Metro behind Crosby's hot start, while Washington sits just 3 points behind. Strip away the history, and tonight is still a massive divisional game. But when you zoom back out, you realize what it really is. 2 of the very best in the twilight of their careers. And we just don't know how many more of these we're gonna get. So enjoy it, hockey fans, okay? This is special. To the NFL, and Week 10 kicks off tonight with an AFC West clash, as the Broncos host my Raiders. And yesterday we had Chargers corner Benjamin St. Juste on the show, and he told us he thinks the AFC West is the best division in football. And as you bring up the standings here, I gotta say, I agree with them. Now, it might be a bit of a surprise 10 weeks into the season, but the Broncos are actually on top of this division. And as for the Raiders, well, to say this year's been a disappointment is almost an understatement. As with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll, expectations were high entering the season, with some actually thinking this could be a playoff team. Well, it's been an awful offense that's killed them this year, as they are 4th worst in the NFL in points per game and 3rd worst in total yards. But some good news, Raider fans. Brock Bowers was back last week and looked great, as he had 12 catches for 127 and 3 tutties, which is something people who drafted him really high in fantasy definitely needed. But it will be tough sledding tonight against one of the best defenses in the NFL, as no one rushes the passer like the Broncos. They're hands down league leaders in sacks, with 40 through 9 games. And the next closest team is only at 28, and that pass rush helps one of the best defenses in football. You can watch the Raiders and Broncos tonight on TSN at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific. The pregame starts nice and early with TNS tonight at 7. Time now for my favorite segment and yours that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
And let's start with some wholesome content that may or may not make me cry. Some people are gonna say that isn't sports, but it is sports, okay? It is. And we're gonna finish with something that will make me and the entire staff of the show feel very old. And that's kids going crazy when 67 points are scored in a basketball game.
Extra pass on the Salah. Stepping into it, and 3 for Nyla Brooks. Nyla, and more Nyla. We got 2 pretty good Nylas.
Nyla's everywhere. Nyla here.
As cringe as all of this is, it's kind of nice that something's bringing all the kids together, you know? I'll let them have this. And that wasn't the only game where that happened. Let's do it. Give the kids what they want. Hit them with another 6-7.
Head to the line. Makes her first. The kids really want this next basket, Jonathan. Oh, I understand. Understand. And makes the second. And there you go. You got to do it. You got to do it. Kids are, I mean, Why not, right? Why not? What? What an atmosphere.
Years from now, people are going to look back on this, right? This is going to be one of those why did we do that moments? Or maybe not. You know what? That's just part of the culture now. We have to accept it. I think I was in a Harlem Shake video, yeah. But I don't even think, but Harlem Shake didn't get to this level. The Ice Bucket Challenge, I did not do. I haven't been on board with the Lil Boo Boos yet, so I don't know if that counts. Back to hockey, and with Seattle and Vancouver set to enter the PWHL in less than a month, we finally got their team names and logos today. Vancouver will be known as the Vancouver Golden Eyes. The logo looks sick and intimidating, but I'm more impressed with the name because if they don't come out to the GoldenEye N64 theme song when they're first coming onto the ice, I'm gonna be disappointed. Okay, on to Seattle, and they will be called the Seattle Torrent. Logo's not as sick as Vancouver's. Also, we already have the S logo with New York, so this one is less exciting. It's not a bad logo, it's just not as exciting as Vancouver's, or New York's for that matter. Overall, yes to my old home in Vancouver, Seattle just takes a back seat to it is all. Not trying to be a biased Canadian or anything, I did just come back from Seattle. Seattle's a lovely place, so they have nice weather. The Pacific Northwest! Here we go, one stat to tell the group chat, and this is actually a good one. Last night, Donovan Mitchell became just the second player in NBA history to score 45 or more points on 70% field goal with 8 or more assists and shooting 10 free throws without missing one. Now, the only other player to do that was Michael Jordan in his rookie season. Shout out to Opta for that stat, the Stat Kings. But here's where this gets even better, because you know I love a video game tie-in. But the motivation for this outburst might have come from 2K.
I wouldn't put the game that I had based on the court. This kid pissed me off today. I was playing 2K. I've been playing 2K for like 2 hours, and I told him too. I was like, wait, just wait. And he just called me washed up. He called me a bunch of things, but I love it. You know what I mean? He said he ain't seen a highlight from me in a minute, and I just told him, all right, we'll see. He said, tell me to go to sleep. Like he was going in. So this game was for that kid or grown man, whoever that was. So I appreciate you. I told him I'd give him a shout out too. So that's what tonight was.
Wait, I'm obsessed with this because it's true. My haters are my motivators, and this is a perfect example of that. The spite level is in hell, and I'm with you, Donovan Mitchell. That's it for me today. I'll see you back tomorrow at 3 Eastern, no Pacific. Have a good one.